to another episode of Conversations with Drew. Like I said, this would be a special episode highlighting why the Kansas City Chiefs should not be in the Super Bowl and why it should have been the Baltimore Ravens. And again, like I said, I'll be highlighting plays that happened during the game. There's a play where I believe it was a pass that was intended for Isaiah Likely in the end zone where one of the Chiefs players was playing through the back of Likely. And you could clearly see it's on this play right here that we're watching now where you see the Chiefs player right here. He plays through the back of Likely as he's coming through Likely's back right there, knocking Likely off the ball. And it was called incomplete. If you read the NFL rulebook on pass interference and illegal contact, playing through the back of an opponent is illegal. So there it should have been called a pass interference. The Ravens would have gotten the ball closer to the end zone and probably had a chance to score, but they didn't call that play. If you go back through the whole game, and we're going to have to find some plays here and show you, but there's a number of plays where Kansas City's offensive line was getting away with holding. Many plays. They didn't call that. And so, I mean, here you can see a few plays here where Kansas City's offensive line is just holding, nothing but holding, and they never get called. And then here's a controversial take, but in my opinion, on the Zay Flowers play where he was penalized for taunting after the play. If you watch that play, the Chiefs player at the end of the play was holding on his leg, and Zay Flowers shoved him off his leg and stood up and, spiked the ball down as he was standing over the player. And most players, after they get a big play, they'll do something like that. They'll spike the ball and stand there, and the fact that the player was still on the ground below him when he did that, they called him for taunting. I don't think he should have been called for taunting. I don't think that should have been a call. There was many times when you would see the Travis Kelce, the star player, the Taylor Swift guy, if you will, was getting in the face of Ravens defenders to the point where Ravens defenders were responding to it by shoving him out of the way, putting their hands up to his face and everything. And they ended up getting called for unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. And to me, if you're going to call taunting on Zay Flowers, call taunting on Travis Kelce, call the holding penalties, call the penalties. If you're not going to call the penalties for one team, don't call it for the other team. In my opinion, the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl for one reason, and it's because of not Travis Kelce, but it's because of two reasons. One, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. The NFL likes that story. They want to run with it. Do I think the NFL tells the refs not to call penalties on teams? Yes, I do. I firmly believe it after watching that Ravens game. And we'll see what happens in the Super Bowl. The second reason, and I think this one is another important reason, Patrick Mahomes is sponsored by State Farm. Or he's in a deal with State Farm. And State Farm is one of the NFL sponsors, and also sponsors the halftime shows and pregame shows and postgame shows for the NFL. So State Farm pays a lot of money to the NFL and to the television networks to sponsor these shows. So if they're paying that money to sponsor shows, they're paying money as a sponsor of the NFL, and they also have to deal with Patrick Mahomes. You don't think they paid saying, hey, we have a deal with Patrick Mahomes, we have a deal with you guys to be your sponsor. here's what the deal includes. It includes Patrick Mahomes winning Super Bowls. You make it happen. I absolutely believe that stuff is going on. And if you don't believe that stuff is going on, you're probably blind. And you probably live under a rock. That stuff is absolutely going on. We'll see what happens in the Super Bowl, but I believe that because of that, the Chiefs are probably going to win the Super Bowl again. We'll probably see a lot of penalties on the Chiefs. Probably we'll see a lot of penalties that don't get called on the Chiefs. Holdings, we'll probably see that, so that's something to look for. We will also probably see pass interferences that don't get called. Roughing the passers probably won't get called. The 49ers will probably get called for penalties that aren't there or that they didn't call for the Chiefs. So, once again, probably the biggest reason the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl is because of the State Farm sponsorships, because of the State Farm deals they have with Patrick Mahomes, and because Patrick Mahomes is the quote-unquote face of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs will most likely win the Super Bowl because of that, and also the other minor story, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift story that has taken over social media, taken over the news, taken over everything. That's my take on the Ravens. That's my take on the Chiefs. That's my take on the NFL. This is how we respond to it as fans of the NFL, as fans that want a fair game, as fans that want a real champion. We stop watching these games. We stop buying the merchandise. We stop buying product from State Farm. We stop. We basically do what we did to Bud Light. We suffocate them to the point where they start listening to what fans want. Roger Goodell probably won't ever watch this podcast, as well as other people up in the NFL boxes probably won't ever watch this podcast. It sucks, but it's the reality. But on the chance that they do, my message is very clear. Stop screwing over other teams, like the Ravens, like the Bills. Stop screwing over other teams to get the Chiefs to where you guys want them. Make it a fair game. If you're not going to call a fair game, these refs should be out. I think I settled my case on that. And clearly you can see I don't like the Chiefs. Clearly you can see I'm a Ravens fan. So I am a little biased. But I think I'm calling it very fair. I don't think Zay Flowers should have been penalized for taunting. I don't think that was taunting by any measures. He didn't get in the player's face. He had a great play. The player should have been called for unsportsmanlike conduct for holding on his leg like that at the end of the play. That should have been a penalty. And those two penalties would have offset, and nothing bad would have happened for the Ravens. Once again, they only called the taunting on Zay Flowers, and the Ravens ended up getting pushed back, and it made it difficult for them to get a score. Whereas if they didn't get that penalty called, we may have seen them score on that play. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in for a special episode of Conversations with Drew. Like I said, it was going to be special, going to have hot takes, spiciness. It doesn't end there. No, it does not end there. As you all know, before the Super Bowl, the last few years, they played Lift Every Voice and Sing, which has been dubbed the Black National Anthem. You want to keep saying America, you want to put end racism on your field, NFL. Then you turn around and pull a stunt like that. The black national anthem. The fact that you put black in front of national anthem means it's for blacks only. Means it's for blacks. It's the black national anthem. It doesn't say white national anthem. It says black national anthem. So you want to write end racism in your fields. Then you want to play the black national anthem before games. Talk about segregating. Talk about dividing people. The only thing the NFL is good at is dividing people. Yeah, fans are divided because they like their teams. Well, we can all come together on a Sunday and cheer on our teams in a stadium or at a bar, or at a restaurant. But then you want to pull that crap. My message to the NFL is to stop that nonsense. America has one national anthem, and that's the Star Spangled Banner. The national anthem is performed before every sporting event in the country. And it was performed. They performed it during, I believe it's World War II. The fans actually started singing it before World War II during baseball games. And it ended up becoming the national anthem after a president signed it into law, and then it began being sung or performed at sporting events and other events. And then because part of the country thinks that there's racism, we have to have a black national anthem. So again, instead of bringing us together, you divide us. You say, oh, we have to have a black national anthem for the black people. We can't have one national anthem for the entire country to rally around. Newsflash, we do have one national anthem. It's sung. Reba McEntire will sing it at the Super Bowl. I hope the NFL fixes their image, because I really like sports. I like to watch sports. I think sports are good to bring people together, people of all backgrounds. But if they keep trending in the way they're trending, it's going to make me not want to tune in. It's going to make me not want to buy NFL merchandise. I struggle with this because it's really hard for me to give up watching sports because I've always been into sports. And I feel like that day is going to come. I think this is a good space or a good spot to end today's special episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the spiciness, the hot takes, everything about this episode. I had to get a bunch of stuff off my chest because, yes, I'm a Ravens fan. Yes, I'm upset they're not playing in the Super Bowl. At the same time, I also feel like the NFL got it wrong with everything as far as their image, as far as the officiating of games, as far as just about everything. So, to the NFL, to all the fans, to everybody, yes, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. Yes, I want to see a good game. And yes, I will hold hope that the NFL will change for the better and get back to the NFL that I grew up watching and grew up falling in love with. We'll catch you on the next episode. Until then, thanks for watching Conversations with Drew. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for post notifications. Thank you all. See you on the next episode.